If you're a heating air machine technician or even a salesperson, how can rapport go wrong? This is a super important question. I'm Scott Silvenbell. I'm coming to you live for HVAC Technician Sales Secrets on a perfect day to talk about sales and business and a perfect day to talk about you. All right, so in the world of sales, you are told, go out and build rapport. Yay, rapport, right? Yay, we found rapport. But what happens is most people don't tell you what not to do in the rapport process, because like where there is a good, on the other side, there's also a bad. And so I have a whole list right here on my phone of things not to do when building rapport. And so number one, numero uno, is going to be the me also, right? So you meet with Mr. Smith, Mrs. Smith, Mr. Jones, Mrs. Jones, and they've got a painting of a wave in the background. And you're like, oh, I got a painting of a wave. And then you're talking to them and you're like, oh, you got a TNC hoodie? I got a TNC hoodie. Oh, you got facial hair? I got facial hair. And there's a point where it's not necessarily believable. Like the commonality thing is cool and you only need like 1 or 2 points to hit commonality, but some people they have to have it, okay? And so when you have conversations with people as a part two, anytime that they keep agreeing with you, oh, I agree, that ground for commonality isn't real. And so what your brain is trying to do is let me connect with this person so hard that everything that they say and do, I'm going to be just like them. And it's like if you were in grade school and somebody like tried to pretend that they were somebody else, like you knew it pretty quick, okay? The Hawaiian slang term for that is trying. Like, stop trying. Number two, talking the whole entire conversation. There is a count in the sales process of how many questions you ask versus how much you talk. And if you're struggling, if you're in a sales slump and you're like, why am I in a sales slump? Well, one of the first things you should look at is how much are you talking about yourself? What is that ratio of you talking about yourself versus the amount of questions that you are going to ask to the potential client, to the potential buyer, interactions or pains or problems or risks, what they're looking for. And you have to know that if you are talking so much, you're not giving them the opportunity to share what they need and what they can do. And this right here is why you should join my email publication. I'll give you the goods, not in the Facebook group, not in the YouTube channel. As we take a look at the list, is asking too many questions. It is entirely possible for you to go over the rails and Scott said to ask questions, right? Well, with that being said, there is the amount of questions that you need to ask, but then there's also a point where you turn into an interrogation person. And you have to be cognizant, you have to be aware of how many why questions you're asking. Why questions will drive people up the wall. Why? When little kids are little kids, they learn a couple of words early on. One of them's no, and the other one is why. And so you have to be aware that you could drive people up the wall. Why this? Why that? Why this? Why that? And it causes a lot of problems because now you're pulling away from the sales process. And last of all, number 4, telling way too many stories that are not related to the sales process, right? So you're thinking, I'm going to talk about this picture of this wave, right? So my mom, fantastic artist. This is a 4 foot by 4 foot painting, by the way, right? You just can't tell because the way I'm sitting on the couch. So, people, that looks like a picture of Hawaii. Like that looks like a picture of Waimea Bay. I've been there. And then, in 1987, I went to Waimea Bay and almost drowned. I had 87 beers with my cousin Louie, and we swam out into the ocean, and he wasn't doing well, and then a shark almost came up, and you're like, oh my goodness, where's the story coming from? How does this even relate to what we're doing? Okay, so let's just recap here. It's the whole me also. It's talking too much. It's not asking enough questions. It's asking too many questions, and then last on this list is stories with no point. And it's really tough for people to follow along. They're like, why? I thought I was here to talk about my problem, my widget, my gizmo, the issues that I'm having. Why are we going over this? If you want to go into a process and build rapport, there is a couple of points you can connect on. You don't have to connect on all of them, just on a few of them. You got 1 of 3 things to do from here, just 1 of 3. Find the subscribe button, click on it. Every time I send out a video, you will get an update. 2, hit follow. 3, share this video with a friend. We'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.